Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Polar Lights 1/1000th USS Reliant build. We are focusing on this right here, the roll bar this week. So I'm going to stop looking at the parts here and get right to work. First thing we have to do is get a couple of holes drilled in these tiny little recesses at the front underside of the bar. There are two lights down there. And of course on the opposing side we have pin recesses, so we'll have to get rid of those guys. On the top side, we have a light on the opposite side of this little detail here. We'll have to deal with that. Also, that pin is in the way of our LEDs, so off it goes. We also don't need these other pins here, so might as well get rid of them. The parts fit together quite snugly without the pins, so don't really need them. And we'll be gluing this anyways. Since we need to get light to our photon emitters, these bulkheads were proving to be kind of in the way. You can see here, and here, I had to file out some channels in order to alleviate that. I didn't want to do any like masking and do some Raytheon lighting, so I just took a file and measured it out, and you can see those channels are almost exactly the same size as the emitters in the front there, and we turn it around. Double check the rear to make sure everything's in order. You can see those recesses are the same size as those slots. Everything's looking good. So of course that bulkhead does exist on the top piece, and we did the exact same thing. You can see the channels there. And if we fit these two pieces together, test fit them together, you can see all the way through the photon emitter now. There's our front, and there's our rear, all ready for lighting. I now have all our holes drilled out for running fiber optics into our little photon emitter. This piece up here, I had to remove that tab at the back because our fiber needs to run right through that little notch it would have sat in. I also glued that piece in and had to tear it off. But there is the hole for our fiber on the top. And here on the bottom, you can see it goes right through those recesses, but there's our holes for the bottom for our fiber. So now we have to worry about getting wire into our wings. So I've notched out a little area at the top and a little area at the bottom of the wing in order to get a little bit of wire down through there. I thought I was going to have to create a trench on the inside of this thing, but I really didn't. I did take off some of the pins there, you can see. I left the two that are closest to the photon emitter, but the rest of those are gone and sanded down. So yeah, we got our little divot there, a little recess there, and this wire. This is a 28 gauge wire I'll be using. So now we can just try to do this one-handed. Get the wire in there. See if we can get it all the way through. There shouldn't really be anything in the way, so it should slide right in there. And there it goes. There we go. So yeah, wire right through. So now we can start getting our LEDs all wired up. And here is a mock-up of my lighting solution. We have two LEDs, one rear, one forward. We have the leads of the LEDs tied together. Down one wing is going our ground wires, and down the other our lead. I have corresponding wires in my nacelles already, almost like I planned ahead for this. Now we're ready for some paint. And look what just arrived in the mail. On the left is a 1/350 scale rec deck. On the right is a 1/537. Even managed to get that walkway at the rear there. We can see inside there we did manage to get the little windows where you see all the pictures of the Enterprise's past. Very detailed. This thing is pretty much spot on to the set. These are prototypes. The official versions will be coming soon. Just a little update on my 1/350 madness right here. Although I don't know anyone in here who would be interested in this, right guys? Our initial painting is done. We have our clear pieces properly light blocked with several coats of black paint and then the blue on top. And we have little red gels inside our front mount and our rear mounted torpedoes. I know these aren't lit unless it's firing in Wrath of Khan, but I wanted them red, so they are. We just glued in a little tiny pieces of red gel with canopy glue, which incidentally I managed to spill most of my bottle on myself while doing this, so go me. We have our bars done. The little lightning bolts here are masked off because there's light gray on the underside of those masks. We have those front and rear masked off because it is black inside there and I want to keep it black. So that's all done. The opposing side, again, lightning bolts all masked off, gray underneath there. Black on the inside of the wings, not sure why, you're not going to get light down them, so we have this painted in white for a little bit of reflection or refraction or whatever you want to call it. Hole in the top for our fiber optic, which we have yet to install. Got the little channel there where it goes through. And we have our little piece here, which will properly go on after I install our fiber optic. I've got our LEDs soldered up and wired together. The little S on the tape is for starboard, so I don't mount this on the wrong side. We have a very specific wiring scheme going on because our nacelle here, as you can see, already has the corresponding wire. Right there, the ground wire goes up into there and out the top, also comes down out the side. That is already done and I don't want to mess with it. Everything is now glued together, so we're doing a quick lighting test. There you just saw the lights kick on for our forward mounted tubes, and underside you can see those fiber optics lighting up as well as the top one up there. And on the rear side, see those kick on. Do have a little bit of a light leak you can see in there to clean up, but that's fine. That is what Tulip is for. Our detail painting has been completed. You can see our lightning bolts on top and bottom are in light gray and unmasked. The fiber optics clipped on the bottom there and up top. We still have to do some touch up. You see some white specks in the photon emitter, and up there our blue went a little sideways, so we have to fix that. Also, I noticed this seam is looking a little rough, so we might want to revisit that before we call it 100%. But that is where we're going to call it for this week. I have been working on the nacelles. They will make an appearance next week when we tackle our main hull. So we'll get that saucer section started. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank all my new subs and my old subs. You guys are equally rad. And until next week, you guys take care.